I'm so glad you all could make it today. So while everybody is joining, I'm gonna begin like in just a few minutes. I have a few housekeeping requests. We request you to keep your audio and video turned off for a smooth experience. And we will be answering many of your queries as the webinar progresses, and I'm going to take up more questions towards the end of the webinar. So settle down, stay tuned. If you have questions during the webinar, please feel free to leave them in the Q&A section of Zoom. Please do not leave them in the chat. Sometimes the chat questions get lost. So you can just go ahead and leave your questions for today in the Q&A section. Okay, I feel like we have about 26 or 27 participants. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. And quickly, while everybody is joining in, I would love to know where you're joining from. So go ahead and leave that in the chat section. You can also tell me if your children go to a public school or they go to a private school, and what school are they from. And if you're a student, then you can just go ahead and put in your school's name, please. And this is exciting. Okay, we have about 26 people so far. Okay, we have students from Centerville, Fairfax, Ashburn. Good morning, everyone. Rock Ridge, great, awesome. I would love to know how you heard about us. How did you come to know about this webinar? And while we're waiting, if you feel like you can just go and check out our website if you want to. Okay, Thomas Jefferson, hi. All right. Oh, Raleigh. We have people from Raleigh, all the way from Raleigh. That's great. That's awesome. Okay, more people are joining in. I see more people waiting in the waiting room. Okay, some of you heard it through the WhatsApp groups, through friends. Yeah, that's nice. Some nice friends you got there. So also we are gonna put up a quick poll for everybody who is here. We would love to know what your areas of interest are. You can choose from options like medicine, other STEM like engineering, cybersecurity, etc., business, or arts and journalism. Maybe somebody can put up that poll. Okay, thank you so much. I see the poll. Please respond in there. And also, we would love to know what ages or grades your children are in currently. It just helps us understand your needs and requirements better. And okay. Okay, we see. We have a lot of medicine interests today. That's great. And we have few interests in business. That's awesome. Okay. I still see more people joining in. Welcome. Good morning, everybody who's just joined in. I would love to know where you're joining from. How did you hear about us? All right, let's begin. Welcome to Paving the Way for Your College Success. This is part 2 of a 3-part series that we are doing. The last session, we received an overwhelming response, and that was more, more meant for freshmen and sophomores in high school. Today, I am going to talk more about juniors and seniors and what they can do. I will be answering many of your queries as the webinar progresses. Please go ahead and leave your questions in the Q&A section, not in the chat, please, in the Q&A section. And I'm going to answer questions live. And very shortly, we will also post the poll results. So welcome to our webinar. I'm so glad you all could make it today on this Sunday morning. This webinar is hosted by myself. My name is Garima and my company is Online Chalk. So before I dive in, I just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction about the founders, my team. Online Chalk was founded by my sister Roli and myself. Roli is currently an MBA candidate. She is specializing in product operations. She's here with us also in the webinar today. And she mainly mentors students with business interests, helping them with business internships and projects. My name is Garima. I have a master's degree in microbiology and more than a decade of experience teaching students across the globe. I worked with students in Asia, Europe, and of course, North America. And over the past few years, we have helped many students get into their top choices of universities. Our approach at Online Chalk is very organic, very holistic, and primarily we are helping immigrant families who are unfamiliar with the American education system. Maybe you did not attend high school here in the US. So everybody feels lost when they are guiding their children. So we are here to help you navigate the process with complete understanding and create a community where everybody engages with each other and they all help each other. So I've created this Discord group. It's sometimes logistically not possible for me to uh, sort of answer everybody individually. So we created this Discord channel. You're welcome to join and engage with us. We actively respond to requests on Discord and answer your questions. We post exciting opportunities such as scholarships, internships, and other things that you should keep in mind, important dates and deadlines for all of these programs. So definitely join us there. Every now and then we also post certain resources and templates that will be very useful for you. So definitely join us there. And feel free to ask questions and engage with us. We will love to help you. All right. So let's begin. So this is the roadmap to college success. This is a 3-part series where we are trying to help you navigate the process of college admissions. In part 1, I talked about important things to keep in mind in terms of the timeline, the academics, the extracurricular activities for freshmen and sophomore students in high school. And I also answered a lot of your questions that were sent to me before the webinar. We also took a lot of questions live in the session and I tried to answer your queries. Today, I want to talk about the juniors and seniors. I'm going to address the juniors and seniors today. Technically, well, seniors are done with college applications, but there are many things that you must do even once you're done with application. For example, if you're deferred, if you're waitlisted, then we can help you with the next steps. If you are, on the boundary or, like you're kind of deciding what to pick, what are your options going forward. If you have a few acceptances, if you're confused, I can help you with that. And if you have been accepted to your dream college, congratulations, but there are some important next steps that you must keep in mind. So I'm going to help you navigate all of those things. The third session, which is next week, is open to all grades, all levels. And there I'm going to talk about the different ways to stand out in your college applications. This session will be very, very useful for each and every student who has not yet applied to colleges. So we are going to talk about how to make that killer application, how to, present yourself as a unique candidate so that admissions officers consider you while accepting into that certain university or college. So let's begin. So like I said, today I am going to talk about the timeline overview for juniors and seniors. I am going to talk about the things to keep in mind when it comes to academics. I'm going to talk about things to keep in mind when it comes to extracurricular activities. And towards the end, I will talk about, I will answer the questions that we received before the webinar started, like while you were all signing up. And I will also answer many of your questions live online. So settle down, find a comfortable spot, and yeah, let's begin. Okay, now we're in the middle of the academic year, right? At this point. So right, first, I'm going to talk about what juniors should keep in mind. At this point, all the juniors and their parents, your focus should be on these 3 milestones. AP course load for next year, applying to summer programs and internships, that's the second one. And the third one, where everything comes together, that's your final college application prep, which you will be doing this summer. So going back to the AP course load, now you must think about your course load for your senior year. So if you look at the timeline, notice that the course load interval is somewhere around January to the middle of Feb. That's because it depends, okay? So if you have taken up courses aligned to your areas of interest, make sure you do that. By mid-Feb, you must have finalized your AP courses for senior year. So definitely mark your calendars. And like I was saying, the window varies by state and school districts. For example, most schools in Maryland, most schools in New Jersey are typically done with their course selections by now. But I know certain counties in Virginia, they still have until the middle of February to finalize their choices. So make sure you're making the right decisions. If there's anything that was left out, which you were not able to take earlier years, please make sure that you take that up now. Your AP scores will technically not make it to your application, but they do ask you what are your next subjects looking like what have you taken up for the next year. So that information is going to be there, but the scores will not be there. Okay. And here I also want to point out, if any students out there are not satisfied with their SAT scores. So I've also highlighted the spring SAT. It's the first digital SAT of this year. And if any of you are not satisfied with your scores, this is your chance to sign up and take the SAT one last time. The test for this spring is March 9th, and the last day to sign up is Feb 23rd. If you're not happy with your scores and you still want to give it one more shot, please go ahead, sign up for it, and take the test. Please mark your calendars for the dates. The next milestone is the summer programs. Now, like I talked about this in the last webinar also, I want to reiterate the deadline for these many selective summer programs has passed, but there are many internships and programs that are still open. Okay, so juniors, now is your time to really focus on planning out your summer. Focus on some summer programs that you might be interested in. And interestingly, many of these very selective programs, they'll say that, oh, the age limit is like the age you have to be 16 years or older. So you will be eligible for many more programs, especially now. So you can think about applying to a few of them. If you apply to more, then that increases your chances of making it to these programs. You can also think about a self-directed project. Think about ways that you can mentor other students who are younger than you. I'm going to talk about the project and mentoring other students again in just a few minutes. But if you are unsure about how and where to access this information, please join our Discord channel. We have created many resources. We have created templates, like I said, and we want to help you get started with the application for these programs also. For example, many of these programs, they will also ask you for your resume. In the last webinar, the resources that we sent out after the webinar, that included 6 resume templates. So depending on what your profile is looking like, you can pick any of those templates and start making it your own so that you can apply to these programs. So definitely seek help where you need to. We are here to help you apply for these summer programs. Plan now. From now until the beginning of April, typically, that's when the deadlines usually are. So you have now until the beginning of April or end of March, where you can apply for these programs. The third and the most important milestone, or the most important part of your year, or the highlight of your year this time, would be the college application prep. So I want to start, it's a whole process which, you can do a lot of things over the spring, and then you can do some of the other things over the summer, and the whole application timeline extends from now until almost like around the holiday season this year. So for your college application prep, during spring break, you can definitely plan to visit some colleges on your list. Look at colleges offering tours during spring break. Try to visit them in person. And see, college tours are a great way to build your college list. So you might have some colleges on your list, but if you're ready to finalize that list, tours are a great option. They are a great way to do that. These are free tours offered by colleges and to help families deciding a good fit. And you can meet students on campus, and it's a great experience, to be very honest. And the most important thing that you will do in spring break. The college tour information can be very easily located on the college websites. Interestingly, after the COVID pandemic, there are many universities, many colleges that are doing virtual tours also. The virtual tours are 2 different formats. One is like a live virtual tour, which is happening in real time. Then there are some that are recorded sessions that are like, you can just go and access them when you want to. A lot of that will help you open the communication channels. You can talk to the admissions office. You can talk to the financial aid department. So, this is a very good thing to do visiting colleges. The third, the next thing that you should do from now until May, before the school ends, basically, talk to your potential recommenders who are going to be writing your letters of recommendations. Now, as a standard, they usually ask recommendations from your guidance counselor at school, and they will ask you recommendations from one of your STEM teachers and one of your humanities or your language teachers. Okay, so you must request these letters of recommendations early on, and talk to your recommenders about their process, their timeline, because teachers and guidance counselors will be doing that for a number of students. So the earlier you make the request, the better it will be for you. You will be at an advantage in terms of the timeline. And just talk to your teachers, ask them what their process looks like. You can offer to give them details about your grades, all of your grades, and details about your extracurriculars and other work that you are probably doing outside of school. So they would like to know this. and this will help them write a great letter for you. The letters are not generic. The letters are very, very specific. These letters are not given to you. You have to enter your teacher's official email address into the portal while you're applying for college. Then the college will send them a format on directly through their email, and they will be writing letters of recommendation through that portal. So it does not come to you. This information is completely kept confidential. In fact, on the Common App, there is a section where you have to waive your rights to view this information so that the colleges know that this information is completely confidential and honest. Okay, so after this webinar this week, the resources that we are going to be sending out will include that template, how to request a letter of recommendation. And it also includes sort of a checklist, a questionnaire for you to fill out so that your teacher or your potential recommender has all the information that they need to write a great letter of recommendation. And again, something to keep in mind over here is you want to request teachers who know you well, okay, so that they can talk more about your personality and other things that are not reflected on your school transcripts or your scores. So that so definitely check out for that follow-up email that we will be sending out. Last time a lot of you missed those emails. I think probably because the email went to your spam. So definitely check your spam folders. The email should come from support@onlinechalk.com. So, you might want to search with that email, and you might want to mark it not spam so that, you don't miss updates like these ones. So definitely before your school year ends, talk to your potential recommenders, especially your school teachers and your guidance counselors, okay? Once your school is up and the summer starts, this summer will be the most crucial one for you. It will be your busiest summer ever. So I want to say after you're done with your AP exams, it is time to get started with some preliminary college essay workshops. These workshops are the background work that you will be doing so that you can write your essays. And you have to understand that this is a very long timeline. You start over the summer and you are going to finish writing typically by the holidays. So that's this end of December. That's when you will typically be done with your college essays. It's a very, very long time. You want to do those preliminary essay workshops. This is important to survive those months and months of writing, So these workshops are going to give you some thought clarity. You will be able to brainstorm ideas about what you can talk about. And we have these essay workshops also. So definitely reach out after the webinar if you're interested in the process and to know more. Also, over the summer, create an account and become familiar with the Common App portal. The Common App is a centralized portal wherein you are going to be applying to about 180 colleges. So 180 or more colleges use that Common App as a centralized portal where you can apply to those many colleges, and you don't have to enter all of your information again. So make that account and become familiar with the whole process, all of the sections, and what you're going to need to fill out that application. The Common App website, that's commonapp.org. That's the website. And when you go there, the homepage has many videos where they are explaining you how to use the whole portal, and they will also give you like a checklist of the documents that you're going to need, everything you will need before you can fill out the application. So please create your account and become familiar with it. Typically, by end of July, you should be done with your personal statement. Now, what is the personal statement, you might be wondering? The Common App has one main essay, we call it, or it's also known as a personal statement. That's your longest essay, and it's the essay that all the colleges will receive when you apply through Common App. And that's they give you like a list of 6 or 7 prompts, which will be a guideline for writing that personal statement. The personal statement is your story. You're talking about yourself. You're telling the admissions offices about yourself. So that essay should be done by end of July. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because August 1st is when most universities are going to release their official supplemental writing prompts. So on the Common App, you have a main essay, which all the universities and colleges will receive. Then each university that is on your list, they will have their own process. So on August 1st, that whole process is visible. Each university may or may not have you write a few more essays. Those essays are known as supplements or supplemental writing essays. So if you're done with your personal statement, it'll be easier for you to start working on those supplemental writing prompts. And trust me, on an average, each university will have at least 3 supplements that they want you to write. It can vary in length, from some being about 150 words. Then there are some that are almost like 400 or 500 words. Okay, so if you're maintaining that momentum, if you're able to write your personal statement earlier, then it becomes easier for you to start working on the supplements. And this is all before school opens. You can actually put in a lot of work before your school opens in September. So definitely please utilize that time, optimize that time. It's very, very important. Your main essay should be done end of July. August 1st, you start working on the supplements. Okay, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of thought, and a lot of insights are needed to really be completing all of this writing process. Okay, you will be busy at least until the end of the holidays. So definitely plan your workload, plan your activities and everything ahead of time. And this timeline is my way of telling you that this is what from now until the next couple of months is going to look like for you. So definitely keep this in mind and mark your calendars and kind of just divide your workload. Having said that, so I'm just, and again, I wanted to go back and tell you that the SAT exam is on March 9. Please sign up by Feb 23rd if you're not satisfied with your scores. Now, like I said, that planning is very, very important if you want to succeed in this whole application process. So I also discussed this the last session, and again, so we've created a specific academic planner. It's not just any random planner. It is specially designed so that you can plan out your academics, you can plan out your activities. It has useful checklists. So this is what the planner looks like. This is the physical planner that I'm showing you. We also have a digital version, which is coming up in about a week or so. So this has specific checklists, divided according to your grades and different months, what you need to do. Then there are check-ins that are very useful to track information. And just so that you know that, okay, I'm doing something in all areas of my college profile, whether it's academics, whether it's extracurricular activities, and am I doing something to really enrich my profile. So these sections are over here. We have all this information will be very useful when you're like brainstorming your final essays, because we forget these things, and you might think certain things are not important, but it might be important from an admissions point of view, or that story might be important for your college essay. So this planner it's available on our website and you can order it from there. I will have someone put the link to make a purchase for this planner in the chat. So please have a look, take a look at the planner. And if you have questions about this, you can let me know. Also, the poll that we were doing earlier, the beginning of the presentation, we have the results, we have the responses. So the areas of interest from all of you today, we have medicine, about 38%. Can everybody see the results? And then 47% of you are interested in a business, other STEM like engineering or cybersecurity, analytics, data science, these types of fields. And 16% are interested in business. Surprisingly, none of us today are interested in arts and journalism. Well, that's a bummer. And the majority of the population today is juniors. So I hope I was able to help you, juniors. And we have one senior. Okay, so please don't worry. If your kids or you are a senior in high school, we have information that's very, very important, and I'm just going to start talking about that. So seniors, we notice we have a senior here. You might be in a few different situations at this point. So if you have applied early to the colleges, then you might, this is the time when, the admission results kind of start rolling in. Typically, the timeline is December 15th until April 1st. So April 1st is the deadline for all the colleges to release their responses for accepted students. So, you might be in a couple of different situations at this point. You may have applied early and you may be accepted, not accepted. And if you've not been accepted, you might be deferred, or you might also have been waitlisted, or you might have been rejected. So if you're rejected, continue waiting on your other colleges on your list for your regular decision. If you have been deferred, very, very important to note here, if a student has been deferred from their college of interest, then you must send out an LOCI, or also known as the letter of continued interest. This letter includes updates about your latest achievements, and all the universities, all different colleges have very specific process for this. They have very specific instructions for how and when this has to be done. And this information will come along with the deferral notification. You will receive the timelines, you will receive the relevant links, or some universities will probably just say that we don't have any further process. You just have to sit tight and wait for the regular decisions to come in. So I recommend that you keep an eye out on your official email address that you entered when you were applying, and keep an eye out for all of these notifications. You will receive a lot of emails from different colleges and universities, depending on their process. So please follow those guidelines. Be very mindful about the timeline that they have mentioned over there. Now, if you have been waitlisted, then let them know that you wish to remain on the wait list. Okay. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to hear all the final decisions by April 1st. Once you have all the responses, then you can really compare your options, and you can plan to visit the colleges that have accepted you. Most universities have a specific accepted students day. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun day, and you can go visit the campus in person, and the financial aid department is there to help you. The admissions offices, they are there to help you. So definitely plan for that visit. and so that you can make a better decision. Okay, you don't have to decide right away. Then you can also meet other students who have been admitted to the same university from your area. So, please network with local students and interact with them, build those relationships. And also, you will start receiving the financial packages. Most universities will also send you a lot of paperwork at this time, and you will have to uh, again, be mindful of the timeline to complete that paperwork. Okay, it has to be done before certain dates, so definitely do that. May 1st, okay, I repeat, May 1st is the date of sending in all of your final responses. And typically, that's also the date by which you have to submit a deposit to finalize your acceptance, or to sort of tell them that you will be going to that college. Okay, so definitely keep in mind, and attend. They will also notify you about the orientation sessions. They will send you links to sign up for campus housing, so they will explain the situation related to campus housing, campus parking, if you're allowed to bring your own transport or not, those things. A lot of logistics will need to be done over the summer. So during this time, please, like I said, keep an eye on that email inbox of yours for updates and notifications so that you can take timely action. Okay. So depending on where you are, and if you've been accepted to your dream college, like I said, that's great and congratulations. And uh, I mean, this is very exciting for you, and this is an exciting time. Your life will change once you're in college. But everybody else who is on the fence, then these are the steps that you need to take. Moving on, talking about the academics, just because you've made it to a college, or you're in the final lap of your college application, that does not mean you can ignore your GPAs and your grades. Okay. And previously in part one, we talked about the very basic things to keep in mind, such as, weighted GPAs and unweighted GPAs. And I also talk about how you can strategically balance your course load. And I also mentioned, and I will repeat, that take your most challenging AP classes during sophomore and junior year. Okay. So this will be very, very rewarding when you apply to colleges. And now at this time, just take a good look at your course selection. Make sure you have the right courses for senior year. So juniors, please ensure that you've made the right choices, you made the selection for your next year course load. Now, at this point, it's again the middle of the academic year. Maintaining top-notch grades to the best of your ability is very, very important. This year's AP scores will also be very important for you. Okay. And I want to say here, if you've not looked at the AP exam schedule up until now, definitely take a look. Now, the AP exams are held in May every year. And this year, the exams begin on May 6th. And the schedule is already available on the Common App website. Definitely take a look at that schedule. Depending on your AP choices, the schedule is very, very tight for many students, okay? And you may end up taking two APs on the same day, two AP exams on the same day. There are no holidays in between. There is no day off in between. It just continues on May 6th and it just carries on for the next 2 weeks. So definitely take a look at the schedule and know your dates. And beginning of March, start reviewing the entire curriculum, the whole year's curriculum, so that you're on top of everything. Because you might have forgotten some things that you learned early this year. And also now is the time to think if you need any extra professional help. Do you need a tutor to help you fill out any gaps that could be there when it comes to AP subjects? So definitely check that out right now so that you get the help that you need well before time, and that'll help you cover all the gaps and get a good score. And we have STEM AP tutoring available, and definitely check out our services. Most of our students get a 4 or a 5 in their AP exams. So you can check out our services. Please prepare and plan ahead of time. Very, very important, juniors. And for seniors, I just want to say, please do well on your APs, take your finals. The final term grades, from now until the end of the year, all of your grades will be submitted after you've been accepted to the college or university. So your grades are definitely going there, but just over the summer, once you have been accepted, and all of your official transcripts will also be sent in to the universities. So definitely, maintain your grades and do well on your APs. Very, very important. Next, I want to talk about the extracurricular activities here, both for my juniors and the seniors present today. Now, in the part one, I said that, freshman, sophomore year, you must try to sort of streamline your extracurriculars if you're doing too many of them. So again, I want to say that now you must try to narrow down and sort of figure out the specific activities that will become the highlight of your college applications. Why I'm saying this is the Common App extracurricular section has options for you to put up to 10 activities. Now, those extracurricular activities, it includes everything. It includes your academic extracurriculars. Let's say you're part of certain groups or clubs. It includes your sports activities. It includes your involvement with certain communities for community service or volunteer activities. But just because they accept a list of 10 does not mean you have to fill out all 10. Because if you're doing too many things, if you're doing too many things that are unrelated, extracurriculars that are not related, there is no common theme, then that just tells the colleges that you are spreading yourself too thin. And that's not enough commitment with any specific activity to be able to make an impact in that zone. So you have to be very mindful on what you will talk about. Focus more on your active involvement with those activities, and just kind of plan that this is going to be my highlight of the application, and have a well-balanced list. If you're extremely good at something, for example, a sports activity or a music activity, make that the highlight of your application. And your experiences when you write about them can revolve around that activity. So definitely get more serious and get more intentional about your extracurricular activity involvement. Also, if you're doing certain projects and you're doing very well on them, you can also think of taking leadership roles, think of taking up mentoring roles, try to become a role model for younger students. Maybe they could be kids in your neighborhood, they can be kids in your community or your friend circle, or even juniors in your own school. See if you can guide them along. If a certain junior has, by junior I mean somebody who's younger than you, they have a similar interest as you do, become a role model for them and just help them understand the process. If you have a specific passion project, which is your own project, you can also build a team around it. Okay. And every year, even in my company, we welcome freshmen and sophomores to do a self-directed project over the summer. And we also have some of our juniors who can apply to mentor them along with us. So this is a nice hierarchy that we have, and these positions are very, very few, the mentoring positions for juniors, and we have a very strict vetting process. You have to apply and like kind of talk about your motivation of doing this mentoring. But it's very, very nice. Every year we have a group of students who are helping each other build small projects, and every year the community just sort of grows, and it's very good to see. And this way, what you're doing is you're passing on the legacy of what you know and what you love to do onto other students who might have similar interests. Now, colleges don't want to see you doing activities that will just end with you going into college, because then they will know that you did that only to get an admission. Okay, they want to see the sustainability of your ideas. Okay, so definitely think about passing on that legacy. Okay, so if you are interested, if you have a certain project and you're interested in becoming a mentor, please reach out to me after the webinar, and I would be happy to guide you through the next steps and what you can do, what we can do together. Like every session that we do, we always discuss a student case study. This is one of our, we always talk about one of our students who made it to their dream colleges. And so this study is, the student was a varsity level soccer player, and he participated in FPLA. He was co-founder of a nonprofit, excuse me, and chapter head of two nonprofits. He was also a member of the National Honor Society. He did a bunch of business internships. His interest was in the field of finance and business. He was a volunteer with Red Cross. His SAT score was 1570, GPA 3.9. He took 6 APs in high school. Now, this student worked with us through the entire high school. Okay, so he joined us in sophomore year, and he was there with us until his college application sent in. So we kind of helped him with his APs. We also helped him prepare for his SAT, and sort of just general tutoring help with all other subjects. He got a perfect 5 in all of his APs, and the first SAT that he took, he had a lower score. That's when he was not working with us, and then after he started working with us, his score saw an increase of about 150 points, and the student was accepted at NYU Stern early decision. So, but this is just as a reference, and this is not a template to like blindly follow. Okay, but every time in my webinars I try to share this information so that other students who are in that timeline, who are looking to apply to these colleges, or you are interested in similar activities or similar areas and programs, you might use this as an inspiration and motivation to continue working hard. So that's why these case studies are being discussed. And yeah, and next I want to talk about, these are all the parts. Whatever you see here, these are all the different areas which will form a part of your college application. So that includes your academic courses, your grades and transcripts, and your course load, how you utilize your summer, if you did any part-time jobs or job shadowing, if you were involved with the community, how much community service you did, any internships, any research projects. The part 3 of this webinar series, I am going to address all these areas in your profile, and I will tell you exactly what you can do to make an authentic application that will stand out to colleges that are aligned with your areas of interest. So we are going to touch upon all of these topics, and we will tell you exactly what needs to be done. So definitely, wherever you are in this timeline, definitely come join us in part 3 of the webinar, which is next week. If you haven't signed up for part 3, you can do that, and we will post the link here. Or You can check out the link to sign up for part 3 on our Discord channel. Also, the link for the Discord was shared, and I will also share it again. So definitely this will be very, very useful to understand how you can go from just a generic application to a very specific application that will stand out to college admissions. We are coming close to the end of the webinar. I just want to quickly summarize before I take up your questions. I want to summarize that juniors, you have to continue focusing on your academics. That includes your course load for senior year. And you will be writing essays, so plan for that. And your letters of recommendations, please talk to potential recommenders in and outside of school early on. And think about taking up leadership mentoring roles so that that will enhance your scholarly application, which you will be sending into colleges this year. That's unbelievable, right? You're already ready to send in your college applications this summer. For my seniors, if you're in a multiple offer situation, if you have multiple acceptances, you can try to narrow your college options. Think about the financial packages. Try to stay on top of the timeline, just be on the lookout for those application acceptances and further notifications regarding paperwork. Continue looking for scholarships. There are many third-party scholarships that are still available now, and also when you are a freshman in college. Okay, so if you look on our Discord channel, we will be posting more of these very, very soon. There are many options that are offered by third party, and that's available for undergrads also. So apply for those. Any kind of scholarship that you get is great for you. Demonstrate commitment towards the sort of activities that you do. If you are taking up any self-driven initiatives in high school, you can definitely look out for options that will help you continue doing things that you love when you go to college also. So it doesn't have to end with high school. So do that, and of course, most importantly, send out those letters of continued interest, or send out your responses to colleges where you have been waitlisted to tell them that you wish to remain on the waitlist. That's a lot of information, and I just want to quickly pitch in and tell you how we can help. This whole process of your college application, especially now for juniors, you will so if you are reaching out to us for professional help, then we start with finalizing your college list. If you already have one, if you don't, then we sort of guide you through the process of building a good, well-balanced college list. Our essay writing workshops are extensive. We really deep dive, we brainstorm ideas together. We will not be writing any of your essays for you, but we give you all the skills that you need to write those essays and really tell your story in the most authentic way, and something that will catch interest of admissions officers. Many universities also have interviews. So if you have certain interviews that you're going to be doing, then we help you with those mock interviews, and we will keep you informed and updated with the latest updates at every step. Tons and tons of resources. And most of these resources are free. We share them on our channels. We share them on Discord, and also on WhatsApp, or on our monthly email newsletter. So please sign up to be on the newsletter. Sign up for the Discord. Join the Discord community, and all of the sessions are one-on-one. It is not a group session, so you will get the right help that is customized to your requirements, and the timeline and everything will be customized as per your needs and what needs to be done for you. And like I said, the resume templates were also shared before. I'm happy to put them up on Discord again, and just reach out for help, whatever you need. If you need to apply to internships or look for internships, apply to selective programs, reach out to us and we will help you in the best way possible. Okay. And some of you who are present today, we've already had some consultation sessions. So I would love to know your experience and if that was useful. After you've applied, there are a bunch of things also that need to be done, and we will also help you with the post application support. So this is how we are going to help you on your journey to getting into a college of your dreams. My company's other services include, services for elementary school, also middle school, along with all of that I mentioned for high school. We have students starting from grade 2 currently, and so we offer them general subject tutoring. We have math competition guidance, math contest trainings. I have 2 math Olympiad teams at elementary and middle level. I have a math kangaroo team that is from grade 2 to grade 7 this year. And we also help you prepare for these private school entrance exams or OL SATs or even the COGAT test um, for elementary and middle school. And middle school students, we also have certain research projects that middle school students can also easily carry out. And we give them the mentoring and the guidance for that. And for my older students, my high school students here, we have AP tutoring, and we have all the standardized test prep options and college counseling, research internships, like I already said. Um, and I want to point out here that all of these services are one-on-one. So your child gets just the right things that he needs, and depending on where you are in your journey, that's where we, start helping you improve and progress from there. So definitely reach out if you are seeking help, professional help with any of these services. This admission season, we've had amazing results from all of my students. And these are some of the places that our students have been accepted. This list does not include all of the acceptances this season. We are still adding to the list, but my students have made to Carnegie Mellon, UIUC, NYU, UMD, UVA, Purdue, UMich, Rutgers, and the list just keeps going on and on. So that's our small community is growing, and I always work in small group settings. I don't have hundreds of students, so it's a small group setting so that we can give quality guidance to all the students out there. And quickly, I just wanted to summarize the current average SAT scores that we have. That's about 1540, which I feel like if we include this year's result, it's going to increase. And the average ACT score is 30. 90% of my students qualify AMC, and we have 90% of the students who are National Maths Olympiad toppers and also Math Counts team. So we've trained many of these Olympiad students, we've trained many of these AMC students and Math Counts students. Okay, now I think enough about us. Going back to helping all of you present here, this is some of the questions that we received before the webinar. So the weeks leading up to the webinar, we had created a Google document wherein you could put your questions. So I am going to answer some of those here. And then I see a bunch of questions in the Q&A section also, and I am going to be answering those as well. The first thing, can a student join a premier college without choosing a major? Yes, you can. You can definitely go in undecided. In fact, you don't have to specify your major until sophomore year in college for many premier institutes. So you can definitely go in without choosing a major. Although I want to say, if you know loosely what you're interested in, it helps you when you're writing those essays. Because almost all of these premier colleges will have one essay which is going to ask you to write about your area of interest, your major of interest, your program of interest. So, if you loosely know what you're interested in, it's a good thing, but you can definitely join undecided and you can switch majors also. Any college just considers GPA but not SAT or ACT. Now, here I want to talk to you about this terminology. There are some colleges or universities that are test blind. That means they just don't require any standardized tests. Not required at all. Blind means they're not going to look at your scores, and there is no option to send in your scores to them. So that is the University of California system. All of those 6-7 universities, they are test blind. You don't need to submit an SAT or ACT scores. Having said that, there are many other universities that are test optional. That means that those universities, they don't require you to take a test. It will not hamper your application if you don't submit an SAT score. However, if you do submit an SAT or ACT scores, they will consider that towards your application. Okay, but it's not required for you to send in your scores, and it does not have any negative effect on your application if you don't take the test. Now, this step was done during the COVID pandemic, and I'll tell you why. This was done because in many other countries, like internationally, they did not have the correct infrastructure to manage this SAT test, because of the COVID pandemic. And many centers shut down, many had last minute cancellations. So the colleges, since the US has a lot of international pool of students also, they just decided to level the playing field. Having said that, definitely if you're doing an SAT or ACT, it helps you with your application. And students in the United States are, still they are taking these tests. So if there are like some extraneous situations where you absolutely cannot take the test, that's a separate issue. But other than that, I recommend that you should be doing these tests. The next question is how to prepare for the essay. It's a very long answer and a long process, and the process is unique to each one of you. But I will say this, the initial steps are sort of just brainstorming and jogging down your memory lane, starting whatever you did beginning of high school up until now. So that's basically all of the content for your essay. The essays are not generic, like, oh, what is the effect of cell phones on teenagers? That's not the type of essays we are talking about here. For college essays, the essays are about you. For example, how do you deal with failure? How, if you came across a challenging situation in life, what did you do about it? And what did that teach you? These are very specific questions, and each student will answer them differently depending on the situations in their life. Join our essay workshops to know more and learn more about the process, and we will help you. Then the next question is, are summer programs run by third parties in universities? What the cost and effort? So there are two different categories of summer programs. There are some wherein you just go and sign up a form, fill it out, and pay a hefty fee to get in. There is no prerequisite, no selection process. I would say that those are basically a very generic sort of a summer program. They give you an introduction about, all the different areas of interest. They'll do rotations in business or STEM and, medicine, things like that. I have nothing against those programs, but I just feel like it's not worth the cost and the effort. However, there are certain programs that are very selective, wherein you have to put some effort to apply. And based on your abilities, based on your skills and qualifications, they are going to select you. Those are the programs that you must look out for. Okay, that looks better on your application as compared to the third-party university programs. The next question is early decision, early action. What's the difference? Both early decision and early action mean that you are expressing interest in a certain college or university so much that you are wanting to apply to them early because they are your preferred institutes. Early decision is binding, which means once you're accepted into your ED university or college, you have to withdraw your applications from everywhere else. So ED decisions are binding. If you have been accepted ED, that's where you're going to go. Early action, however, of course, it's an early timeline, but it's not binding. So early action, if you have been accepted, you still have the option to make a choice whether or not to go. And again, the same timeline, May 1st is when you can decide if you are going to join early action. But early decision, if you've been accepted, that's your only option now. That's where you have to go. And students who've withdrawn, like over the past years, if they withdrew an early decision application without a genuine reason, they were blacklisted, and like a lot of bad things happen. So you don't want to do that. Please be very conscious when you're telling a college that you're going to apply ED in the application season. Then is it really worth to get teachers for college essays? If I have a good relationship with my English teacher, can I ask her as well? Your school teachers definitely would be very helpful, but I want to say this, the college application season timeline is very busy for the teachers as well, because apart from the regular college work, the school work that they have to do, this is additional work for them. So you can talk to them, but they will not be able to help you within a certain timeline. Okay. And English teachers, they will be happy to review, but it's not as streamlined and as a focused effort as compared to, I believe when you say get teachers for college essays, you are probably referring to professional counselors and professionals like us. I say that we take the guesswork out of college essay writing for you. We help you focus, we help you brainstorm. But of course, I mean, if you want your English teacher to review your essay, that's fine. But keep in mind the timeline and this is extra work for them. So they may also say no sometimes, which happens very often. So that is something to keep in mind. I have nothing against this, approach. Is it valuable to do college interviews? Many colleges say it's optional, but does not give any advantage for an applicant. Yes, absolutely must. You must do the college interviews. It gives you an additional chance to tell them about yourself or to explain any of the things that are on your college application, but you did not have the correct opportunity to talk more about it or explain more about it. College interviews are great. Okay. And nowadays, most of them are happening on, remotely or virtually. So I don't see any harm in doing the college interviews. This is one extra opportunity for you to network also with somebody who's an alumnus of that university, or maybe an admissions officer at that university. You must do the college interviews. What should be the ratio between safe colleges and match reach colleges? Before I answer this question, I just want to say that when we are building a college list, for many of you who don't know, then you try to categorize it. There are some colleges that are your dream colleges, but the acceptances are very low, and they have a very, very high score range or grade range. So you feel like and the competition is a lot, so you feel like you might not make it. Those are your reach colleges or dream colleges. And safe colleges are the ones that you feel like you have a 70% likelihood of getting in. And the match colleges are also like those universities are matching your profile, so there is a good likelihood that you will be accepted there. Ratio, your list should be constructed or structured in a way that 2/3 of it is your safe colleges, or I like to call them likely colleges, so that you have a greater chance of getting in there, and the remaining 1/3 can be split between match and reach colleges. That is a typical structure that I recommend. And of course, on a case to case basis, this can change. And we can tell you more depending on what your profile looks like. So these are some of the questions that we received. And I see there are so many on the Q&A section. What if the kid didn't do anything earlier and is interested to do now? He is in 11th grade. Do you have time? Definitely. It's not late. I mean, better do it now than never. So definitely he has to start doing something now. And depending on how motivated the student is and how much he can really accomplish in a short time, it's a good way to build your resume for med school. Okay, so whatever the specific, this is a very specific question. So like just reach out later on if you need more advice. Then the next thing is the next question. If a kid has less than 1400 SAT scores, GPA more than 4.4, will it be possible for kids to get into UVA? Okay. For this, I need to know the other aspects of his profile, his clubs, his activities, many other things, to really be able to answer what is a good fit or a good match for universities for the child. So please feel free to reach out. Would like to know the benefits of applying for an honors college in a university. Honors colleges are very, very selective. They have a whole process apart from the regular application. So being accepted into a selective program is always an advantage. Some honors colleges also have 5-year programs where 1 year is like a co-op program wherein it's like a job or an internship that you're doing that helps you, and they pay you for it. You get a stipend for it, so that pretty much helps you pay for college. Honors college students also receive many scholarships, so definitely apply to them if they are fitting in your areas of interest. But yeah, honors colleges have small class sizes because they are very selective. Should the course load rigor in senior year be on par with junior year? Not necessarily. Or if all significant APs are already taken in junior, can the senior year be filled with? Yes, absolutely. You can fill it with less rigor, but it should not be very drastic. I say that you take the challenging APs in junior year, by junior year. Senior year, take a few APs that you're just interested in that subject. But the core courses, try to do them by junior year. Some of these are mandatory courses needed. Yeah, that's fine. Even if they're non-APs, if AP is possible, great. If they're non-APs, if they're honors or GT programs, that's also fine. Then we have how many times student can attempt SAT exam. There is no upper limit. Okay, you can take the test as many times and report your scores for the test that you have done well in. But I say that it's not worth it to do it more than twice. So the first time, my SAT program is a one-on-one program that we do over the summer. Usually at the end of the program, the first SAT itself, 90% of the students are able to achieve their target scores, and then they are done. But if there are some who just want to improve a little bit more, then they take the SAT exam a few months later, and that's it. I don't recommend that. It's worth your time and energy to do it more than twice. How important is SAT and National Merit Scholarship qualifying test? Very important. Even if you're a finalist on the National Merit list, it counts. It counts on your profile. It looks great. And SAT scores are definitely important for BSMD. See, any selective program that you are applying to, Try to send in as many parameters uh, to exhibit that you're a competent student, you're a competent candidate to be accepted in that program, you know. So that's like the baseline. You must do that. And if and of course any extraneous situations that force you not to take the SAT, that's a different story. But if you can, you must, especially in these very challenging programs like PSMD, pre-med. Mm, how important are post AP courses? Uh, Not important that much. Mm, um, It depends on what it is. If it's something that you are doing for extra credit or something that will help you explore your areas of interest a bit more, then definitely consider this. I will need more information to answer this question completely. And okay, my son is studying 11th grade. Okay. Okay, so this parent student is in India and they will come here. Mm. Why do you want to have them complete 12th grade here? Okay, so I want to say here, I worked with these students before who are American citizens, but they completed their high school in India or other countries and they are applying to universities here. Now, since they are American citizens, they will be considered as, like residents here. So but I feel like either you complete your high school in India and then come here, or you come here in the beginning of high school, because other than academics, the kid can be great at academics. The adjustment time that it takes for you to adjust to a new situation and the kind of education that we're doing here, which is very different from how it is in other countries, it's kind of like a mishmash. So just focus on completing it in one place. And we have worked with so many students who are from India and they are applying, and they're not even American citizens, just applying. We have them build their profile and everything with the situations in India, the best what they can do. So it's not a problem, and they have also been accepted to many great universities. That's not a problem. So doing this half here, half there might, be extra burden for your child, in terms of adjustment. And it'll be a waste of time in high school if you're just trying to adjust and, getting the hang of things. So I don't recommend that. The average cost you would charge, it depends on what you're looking for, sir. So please reach out to us after the webinar. Um, yeah, and I believe that's it for the questions. And I noticed we went way above the time for the webinar. I wanted to finish in an hour, but answering questions and trying to give you all the information completely and accurately to the best of my knowledge and ability. We went over time. So, rounding off, I just want to thank you for your time today, and I'm so glad you could make it. This is the Discord channel again. Please scan the QR code, and you should be able to join our Discord channel where we will be posting a lot more resources and more links, more useful information. You can ask your questions over the Discord channel. My team is very active on it, and we will help you. Also, this session has been recorded, so please look out for that email that will have the recording of the session. And please check your spam folders. However, the recording is not immediately processed and published. So it'll take a few hours. Last time it took about 2 hours for us to, process the recording and upload it to the different channels. So please uh, check that out. We will also put it on YouTube eventually, so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I hope the session was useful to you. Okay, I also have one last question. Where can I find the list of tutors and their background? I am also one of the tutors. So you've met me virtually, but reach out and I will help you with that information also. And so it's a wrap. And thank you so much for everybody who could make it. Um, please join us for part 3. We will be very excited to share more information and answer more questions for you. That is open to all high school students who have not yet applied to college. So yeah, thank you. Have the great rest of your Sunday. Goodbye.